Good evening, this is Pastor Kenton. Tonight I want to look at the seventh principle of cell life, and I call it It's More Than a Meeting. And so as an icebreaker tonight, have you ever been involved on a team? Maybe it was a work group, maybe it was a sports team, a group of people that were brought together to accomplish a specific task that took more than the individual themselves. They were working together. You were working together for a common goal. Could you have accomplished the same thing as an individual? Or did it take different people working together with different strengths, different gifts to accomplish the mission that the team was given? So take a moment, talk about being on a team if you have been. Take that, share together. You can press pause on the video, and then we'll come back. 1 Corinthians 12:12 says this, "For as the body is one and has many members, but all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Christ." What's being said here, we've talked about this before, but your small group, your cell group, is like family for one another. It's a family of believers walking together, growing together, living life together. But it's more than just a meeting. It's a team to accomplish the purposes of God. It means being involved in each other's lives throughout the week, not just on the meetings, if possible. And maybe geographically, one is over in far away and others are closer, but maybe you live close to some of the other members of your group. How are you interacting outside of the group meeting? Those things are important. Being involved in each other's lives helps this to happen. It may mean that you go get coffee with one another. It may mean shopping together as you have opportunity to do that. You may have families and you take the families on outings together, or you take the kids to the park. You call each other on the phone. You find out how each other is doing. Involve yourself in each other's lives. Now, you don't want to be a burden to one another. You don't want to do this too much. You kind of get a sense of how much is appropriate. But at the same time, life can be very lonely when there's no friends to share it with. And we as a small group, we're friends with one another. We enjoy the company of one another. Maybe it's about being an accountability partner because somebody has an addiction, somebody has a situation that they need to report in. And so you become that person that it says, I'll walk with you through this. I'll call you every day if I need to, maybe even every hour for a while if I need to, because I care about you. But you're involved. It's more than just the meeting. It's finding ways to connect outside of the regular meeting, and that makes the meetings themselves more meaningful. I call this Christian community, living together as a family, doing life together, eating together, fellowshipping together, worshiping together, whatever it may be, but looking not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. What are some ways that you can be involved in other members' lives that's not intrusive into who they are or in their family? You don't want to be a burden, but at the same time that you find those natural ways to be involved in each other's lives. What are some of those ways? Do you understand the necessity of this? The necessity of building relationships? A second thing, are you experiencing true fellowship within this group? Have you gotten to a place where you trust each other? Do you have a deep enough relationship? Now, some of you may be newer to the group, and trust takes time. You can't just turn that on and turn that off. But are you coming to that place where you're trusting one another? Are you becoming vulnerable to one another? Are you sharing who you really are and what's really happening and going on in your lives? That's the platform for ministry to happen. Do you feel like the people in the group care about you? Do you feel like they're giving to you? What is your experience? Do you feel like you're in fellowship, or do you feel like you're on the fringes? And that may be a very valuable discussion to bring out in the group, just to say, I really don't feel a part of things here. Why is that? And begin to identify what's happening and what's separating you from relationship. What do you think of the idea that as a group, you're becoming family for one another? In what ways is this already happening, and in what ways does it need to happen more? In what ways could you connect in a better way with someone else at a deeper level so that community can be established, so that that can be realized? I believe that this is something all of us want. We like to go through life with other people. Some people like to go through life with a lot of people. Some people like to go through life with just a few people. It's not one is right and one is wrong. It's just simply what brings life to each individual. But life is more fun, it's more meaningful when we do life with other people. And that is the purpose of your small group, to be a place, a safe place to grow and be discipled, to confess sin, to bring problems, but also to have relationship and to be able to know that someone else cares about me and I can care about them, to experience the love and the acceptance, the forgiveness, the honor that comes as a believer in Christ, walking, edifying, living one to another. Tonight for ministry, minister to the needs raised as the group has had discussion. As things happen, people tend to share their drawbacks or their situations or their circumstances, how they've been hurt in these kinds of ways, how they've been helped. And so as you have those, be aware and willing to bring the person into the center. Each of you has a part to play in bringing healing and bringing wholeness into their lives. And so take that opportunity. You may want to minister together as a large group, but there may be more people there that it may be beneficial to break up into groups of 3s or 4s or 2s and simply spend some time sharing with one another and ministering to one another, praying for one another that they may be healed. So set this up, begin to minister. Encourage everyone tonight. I encourage everyone to be involved with one another's lives outside of the meeting. And you may want to set this up tonight or before you leave the group, when you're going to get together, if you're going to get together. Maybe it's a new person in the group and you'd like to get to know them at a deeper level. But I want to encourage you to set that up even before you leave tonight. So be blessed. Go to ministry. And I'll talk to you again.